What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, we are finally seeing that shift back into the high growth momentum stocks that a lot of us are invested in. So I wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about where I expect to see April take us and beyond, and talk about a few stocks that were really beaten down that are going to have a lot of potential and the catalysts behind them that are really going to give it that boost that it needs. I'm also going to go over Tesla's amazing quarter 1 deliveries for not only just what's been going on with the coronavirus, but also just the fact that January and February are the slowest months of the year for car sales. They absolutely crushed their estimates. And then lastly, we are going to talk about, I want to show you guys how you can really maximize your portfolio. This is something that is very simple to do. I feel like a lot of, beginner to intermediate, investors and traders really look beyond, but it's something that all experienced traders to do to really maximize the amount of value, okay, and profit they can make in their portfolio. So guys, stick around till the end. You're not going to want to miss this. For those of you that are new, all I ask is that you hit that like button and subscribe and join the family. If you're interested in joining our private community, it is the first link in the description. We now have over 300 members. We are growing really, really quick. I have my private portfolio over there, and I go over all of my stocks and option picks, as well as what I'm going to teach you in this video in there, guys. So if you're interested, we'd love to have you. First link in the description. Let's get into the video. First off, guys, I do want to mention this article right here. A bottom is finally beckoning for NIO shares. So this isn't just about NIO, but it's also, read that subtitle, traders are returning to the shores of momentum, including NIO stock. We're going to jump into the charts of the NASDAQ. As you've seen the last few trading sessions, the NASDAQ is starting to rise again, which indicates investors are starting to shift their money back over into these. It's a little bit semi-speculative high growth stocks that trade really far beyond earnings. But this is a really, really good article that not only talks about NIO, okay, but also just everything about the momentum and high growth stocks that a lot of us are invested in, and a lot of stocks that I've gone over on my channel before. But lastly, what I want to mention is talks about the double bottom of NIO. I covered this in my last video. If you haven't seen it, I chose and picked NIO to be one of the best performing stocks for April and beyond. Okay, check out that video if you haven't seen it already. But I do want to point this out at the bottom, that this writer had suggested. This is something that I told everybody in my group, and his trade is to sell the May $30 put for $1.20. The maximum gain is $120 per contract, and it's yours to keep if the NIO stock sits above 30. And if it doesn't, and you get assigned those 100 shares, you get to pick up NIO for a net cost of $20.80, which I think is an absolute steal, because NIO is continuing to grow and crush their expectations as well. So we're also going to talk about, like I said, we're going to talk about selling puts and then covered calls at the end of this video. But another thing I want to mention, guys, too, is I read this article as well, just kind of came out a couple hours ago, is Tesla releases their Q1 2020. It's a new record of 185,000 cars, and this is coming into the issues that China had, okay, not only with the fact that there were some other shutdowns that were over in China earlier this year, but also just that January and February are slow months, and they crushed that. Their previous record was Q4 of 2020, which Q4 is the highest record of sales of 180,000 deliveries. They did 184.8. And I think their expectations were 168,000. So that they absolutely crushed it. You can expect to see a nice rally coming from Tesla for this coming week, especially because that stock was really, really beaten down based on when the NASDAQ started to pull back starting off in February. So keep that one in mind, guys. So let's jump into some of these stocks here you can see on the charts, guys. This is /NQ. It trends off the NASDAQ, and as you see, we pushed above that descending trend line that was acting as a sign of resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple times it bounced. If we pushed through that, and it is going to expect to continue to rise, which is a good indication. A lot of our portfolios were tech heavy. I made a video earlier, probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago, talking about how I made a mistake. As I classify myself as an experienced investor. I've been doing this, for about 15, 16 years now, and I did make a mistake once again. Naturally, the getting was good, okay, and you just end up pumping a little bit too much money in the tech stocks, and it pulled back a little bit hard. But we're seeing that shift come back, which is really good news for a lot of us, because I know a lot of our portfolios are heavy into there. So I want to just highlight NIO. I mentioned it in my last video, but I want to just kind of take a peek at it just to show you this double bottom, and it is hitting out. Looks like it might be touching that resistance of the 180 moving. All right, but this is a phenomenal price to get into it. There's a high of 66. 0.99, okay, and it's only sitting at 39.51. A lot of room to run, guys, so keep this one on your radar. Next one I want to talk about was Skills. This is a stock that I actually had purchased right in this little loop right here, as I thought there was going to be a little bit of return. Pulled back a little bit. My stop loss was hit. Set a very tight stop loss at 5%, especially because given the speculations or what was going on with the market at that time. And as you see, it is sitting right at that numerous support level. Again, it's got support all the way back into the end of last year, and it is sitting right here. Anything under 20 bucks is an absolute steal for this company. All right, I don't want to get into too much detail about what exactly they do, but do some research, learn about it, and they are a phenomenal company, and this is going to be poised to grow, especially coming off a high of 46.30. Has a lot of room to run. Next one I want to talk about, next two we're actually going to talk about, are charging stations. These stocks were beat down, one trading really far ahead of their earnings and revenue, as well being classified kind of in that EV sector. Okay, the tech sector, it was beaten down a little bit. ChargePoint has had a serious run in the past week. Came all the way up from that 21, hitting that that line of support again. It once tested right here at that 19.5, and then nationally was pushed off. This has a lot of room to run. I think it might be a little bit overextended, guys. I know you cannot see right now the RSI and the MACD. It might be a little bit overextended. Not to say it doesn't have room to run in the next given couple days and weeks, but potentially wait for a pullback, and we can see it getting back up to that $40 to $45 price range very, very shortly, guys. Next one we're going to talk about is Blink as well. This is another one, same thing. The chart looks a little bit better. It's not as overextended like as ChargePoint was. Another thing I want to talk about, which is a really big catalyst, is President Biden had said him adding the $2 million infrastructure plan for the United States, and charging stations is going to be in the forefront of his infrastructure plan, and these two companies that I just mentioned really lead that. So there's a lot of room to grow in this one, guys. Right now they're both sitting at very, very good prices, I believe in. Like I said, they might just be a little bit overextended, so don't jump into them too quickly. While they still have room to run from where their current prices are, I always like to get in at a really, really good time. So just keep these ones on your radar. Next one I'm going to mention, I feel like I always have to mention it, and I'm going to continue to mention it, is Palantir. Another one that's going to benefit off, the green energy and infrastructure plan as well. It's really, really sitting at that $22, $23 support range. I'm not going to spend much time on this, guys, because I've talked about it numerous times in my video, guys. But this one is an absolute steal at that price range, okay? I did personally sell a cash secured put on Palantir. It was a $21 put, and I would be more than happy to get assigned. The premiums were absolutely phenomenal. So I was able to I'm sorry, the contract price was absolutely phenomenal. The premiums were phenomenal. I'll be able to collect that right away, okay? And I'll be more than happy to take this. This would give my average cost, I believe, at $18.60, which I think is a steal for this company. So if you're very, very unfamiliar with, if you've never done it before, selling cash secured puts, okay, please research it, look it up, do a little bit of your own understanding and reading to learn about it before you start doing this. If you are interested as well, this is the Thinkorswim platform. They do offer a paper trading where you can get yourself familiar with it and get started by testing on a paper trading before you start investing in your own money. And like I said, if you're interested, please check out the link down below. We talk about this in the group all day long. So next one we are going to mention, guys, is Sweet Baby Mavis. As Chartology says, I had mentioned this one actually the other day in my video, right before Microsoft had the news that they had a $21.9 billion contract with the U.S. Army for their HoloLens, and Microvision builds some of the technology that is used in those HoloLens. It had an absolute rip up. I think it ripped up 50% in a day, and it pulled back 16% yesterday. I had people in the group saying, oh, did I miss it? Do I still have room to run? They were ready to jump on the trigger. I said, guys, anytime a stock rips up that quick, be prepared for it to pull back. Okay, you make money on your entry, guys, not on your sell. Please start to shift your mentality, think into it. I know a lot of people might tell me I'm wrong on that, but you make money on your entry, on the buy, not on the sell. It's the same thing in real estate, guys. But more importantly, what I wanted to talk about Microvision, because I came across this earlier, guys, and I'm going to jump over to my trading platform that I use, is Merrill Edge. So this is, I currently have, I believe 1,400 shares of Microvision. Okay. And I was thinking about selling, all right, a covered call to be able to maximize. I am red currently on this position in my portfolio, so anything I could do to help make up some of that game. But let's just say we do one contract, okay, which would be 100 shares if you already have it. And I looked at the July 16th strike price, okay, of $30. All right, I looked at a couple of them, but I'm just going to use $30 for this example, guys. And the contract price is $275, which means I would receive for one contract $275 for selling this at a $30 strike price. Now, what's amazing, if I did all of my shares, which is 1,400 shares, I could do 14 contracts, which would pull in almost 45, I mean, I can't even do the math really quick, almost $4,000 into my pocket right away. It would lower my unit cost average and how much my net, what I have invested into Microvision. And on top of it, right now it's only sitting at $15, which means if it doubles in July of July 16th of 2021, and I get my shares, I get assigned, I have to cover those, and they get extra, and the buyer exercises it, then I have no problem because one, I doubled my money on it from where it's at right now at $1,550, okay, as well as being able to hang on to that $4,000. Now, I know some of you guys who are invested in Microvision saying, hey, well, Jeff, the potential for the buyout, and if it goes up, it might go up to 80, 90. I've seen reports, oh, it could hit $120, and that's fine. I also do have plenty of shares, okay, on my another account, but just for this one per sake, I would be more than happy to be able to write this covered call to be able to bring some more income coming back into my portfolio on the immediate. And like I said, if it never hits that strike price, then that's great. I literally just made $4,000 added to my portfolio off of nothing. So guys, if you've heard about covered calls but didn't really understand how they work, okay, you don't always get, prices and premiums that were as lucrative as what I saw in Microvision. I'm constantly always testing how I can leverage my portfolio and really, really maximize it. And sometimes I would test this and let's say the price would have been 22 cents. And I'm like, you know what? That really doesn't do it for me. Maybe I would I'm going to get $22 off a contract. It's just, it's not that lucrative, but $275, that's something I really want to look at. So if you are new to it and you want to look up how to, maximize your portfolio, look up covered calls. There's a lot of information. Use Investopedia I think is a really great resource. And also, guys, if you really want to take that portfolio to the next level, consider signing up to the group. All right, we talk about this information all day long. There's some great investors and traders in that group that have much more knowledge and experience than I do. So if you're interested, guys, check it out, and we'd love to have you. That's it for this one, guys. Happy Easter. I'll see you in the next one.